Well, hello there, math fans. I want to give a little bit of an intro to this Math 398 course that I'm teaching in the summer of 2025 with me and Professor Camacho. This is something that's really new for our department. Our department said, hey, we want to have some research classes that we can offer in the summer. We want to see what the interest is. And I said, all right, I have an idea. I think this was different than what they were thinking, but an opportunity for students to research ideas that only require calculus that might lead to little projects that would be interesting for future calculus students. So I want to explain that a little bit so that people taking the course know what they're in for and can get out now if this is not what they want. And also to give a chance for those people that are still trying to decide if they want to sign up, what the course is. It's a full experiment. We've never done anything like this before, so it's going to require a little bit of patience and energy on your part. But I want to say a little bit about where this idea is coming from. I actually proposed several ideas to the department, but this one actually had a sort of a research component. So in the 2011, 2012, 2013, I taught this honors calculus class where I was with the same 60 students for a year. They basically did the same content as a regular calculus course, except I had them do supplemental projects. Things that would they'd work in small groups, write something up, just explore something. And in doing so, I sort of started to realize that I didn't need to ask big mathematical questions. It just had to be something interesting that allowed them to explore. And I realized it's not that hard to come up with such questions. So the couple of the projects I will present during this time, but really what I want is to use the students in this class a little bit as guinea pigs for you to tell me which of these things do you find interesting, which would you enjoy if you were a student, and then give you the opportunity to make small projects like this. Now, that's a little too free form, so we're going to try to give it a little more structure than that. So one thing I like to do is to have a place you could present your work to friends and family. And so I have this little gallery I just made, similar to my 3D Shapes gallery, if you want to see that. That was part of a different group where we made these 3D shapes for calculus. But this is kind of a similar gallery, and that'll be a gallery of little snippet projects. And I would like at the end of the term for us to have added several to this. They don't have to be big projects. They don't have to solve big problems. But they will give a little more depth or interest or excitement about something. And that's what people who take this course, that's what I'm asking you to do. Basically, you will make 3 projects. That sounds bigger than it is, but basically 3 small questions, snippet questions, that you will then answer and write up. So that's the goal of this session. The calendar looks like this. Basically on Tuesdays we will meet. Some Tuesdays it will be kind of the first cycle, the first 3 weeks will be about differential calculus. We will present, I will present kind of some of my projects that I've actually done in class, and Professor Camacho will present kind of a bigger arching project over several weeks. And that's what I like, is you're going to get to see a few different things that have to do with differential calculus. In that time, in the first week, we're going to expose you to lots of ideas. You're going to have a homework assignment where basically you go through a bunch of the ideas I have. My hope is to kind of spur things that might interest you. Then from that, you're going to form a little project idea, make a little draft. And again, this is like a half a page to a 1-page thing you're trying to make. It's not a big thing, but something that uses a bit of calculus to answer a question. And there'll be lots of flexibility. And then in the third week, some of you will present, we'll have a discussion, and you'll sort of submit this final thing for the gallery. So you'll have something you'll add. That doesn't have to be as big as what my projects were. It could be just sort of one question like this. That's the goal. Then we'll repeat and do integral calculus for 3 weeks. And then the last 3 weeks will be like a free-for-all, where you'll get to kind of explore your own ideas. So we're trying to give some structure to this. Again, we've never done anything like this before, so we're going to have to adjust a little bit as we go. But that's it. You'll basically have some sort of check-in at the end of each week. You'll have a group that will have you set up times to meet with, and we'll meet all together on Tuesdays. This is all going to be remote. This is one of the department's requirements for such a course so that people could access it everywhere. But I'll be on campus all summer. I'm also teaching Calculus 3. I think it's going to be a fun time. But I just want you to be aware that that's what it is. You're going to make 3 little projects. You will have the opportunity, if there's something you really are interested in, to explore that more deeply. But we're going to ask small, simple questions that I think will grow into more, and I'll give you plenty of ideas. So if you say, I have no ideas whatsoever, I'll have things to give to you. And I'm really excited about that back and forth. So that's what the course is. I'm sure I've talked for too long here. But in the next video, I'll share a little about myself. I'll go through the syllabus survey you'll do before the first day, and then just come ready the first day to chat with us. All right.